Confederation of African Football delivers verdict on contentious Libya-Nigeria Africa Cup of Nations qualifying match. House of Representatives summons Ministry of Works Permanent Secretary over abandoned road project.
The contract sum awarded in 2022 for 1.4 billion naira had been fully paid for, but remains unexecuted.
IMF advises Nigeria to utilize savings of fuel subsidy removal. Hello and welcome to the news desk at 3 on Nta News24. We're reaching you live from Abuja. I am Dennis Adigunloye. The Confederation of African Football, CAF, has delivered its verdict on the contentious Libya-Nigeria Africa Cup of Nations qualifying match. CAF officially announced the cancellation of the Libya-Nigeria AFCON match, and Nigeria was awarded 3 points and 3 goals, while CAF fined Libya $50,000 US. The Northern Senators Forum has expressed concern over the power outages in many states across the northern regions and appealed for federal government intervention. In a statement, chairman of the forum, Senator Abdulaziz Musa Yaradua, said the outage resulting from vandalism and national grid disturbances has slowed economic activities, affected healthcare delivery, and imposed expensive fuel costs on citizens as small businesses are struggling to operate and livelihoods are being impacted. The forum wants governments to prioritize repairs on the Shiroro-Kaduna transmission lines, enhance security to prevent vandalism, and supports renewable energy as well as mini-grid solutions to provide sustainable power options. The forum, however, acknowledges the progress made in power distribution under the current administration and appreciates efforts to improve the sector, stating, however, that more needs to be done. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has invited the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Works, to appear next week, unfailingly, before its Committee on Public Accounts to explain the alleged non-execution of a 1.4 billion naira contract to construct the Idanwanya to Kano Federal Highway, which traverses through Kaduna State. Chairman of the committee, Bamidele Salam, says the ministry is yet to respond to several invitations by Parliament to give a status update of the road project.
To answer to this very weighty allegation that a contract sum awarded in 2022 for 1.4 billion naira had been fully paid for, but remains unexecuted. Honorable colleagues, as we speak, we have neither received a correspondence from the Federal Ministry of Works, either in writing or verbal or any form, and here we are today in this hallowed chamber waiting for the appearance of the concerned Permanent Secretary.
Sitting, the House Committee on Federal Road Maintenance Agency restated the need to fast-track the rehabilitation of dilapidated federal highways in the country to ease the pain of commuters.
Has been dualized, but you will fight from left and right from Benin till you get to Asaba. Sir, before now, Onitsha to Enugu used to be fully dualized road, but because of our lack of quality attention to maintenance, Onitsha to Enugu is no more the kind of highway that you and I can be proud of.
The challenge is, I need 1 million naira. What is available is 100,000. So the issue now is, how do we manage this little resource to address this enormous challenge?
Now, the promise by President Bola Tinubu to fulfill the commitments made by the previous administration to establish a UNESCO International Category 2 Media Information Literacy Institute in Nigeria is being fulfilled. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, at a symposium to mark 2024 Global Media and Information Literacy Week in Abuja, assured of citizens' empowerment with relevant tools to navigate the dynamic information environment. Saliu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
Like other nations, Nigeria is conscious of the growing digital revolution and is demonstrating the political will to meeting global practices of inculcating moral values and laying fundamental skills to promote citizens' media literacy using the UNESCO Category 2 International Media and Information Literacy Institute in Nigeria.
It has become imperative and crucial that we empower our citizens with the tools they need to navigate this complex information environment, especially with the advent of artificial intelligence, which will make it more complex. Media and information literacy becomes essential in empowering individuals to critically assess the information they encounter, discern credible sources, and engage responsibly with media content. It is imperative that our schools, universities, and community as a whole prioritize media literacy programs, ensuring that our youth are equipped to thrive in this digital age.
To complement ongoing efforts, the minister wants content creators and social media influencers to prioritize the interests of the nation and uphold the highest ethical standards.
I want to say it to UNESCO and the world over that Nigeria is ready for the MIL. It is our conviction that given the level of commitment and interest shown by Mr. President and the entire team working on this project, we will indeed succeed. This institute, when it finally kicks off, will offer programs and courses that equip Nigerians, Africans, and people worldwide.
UNESCO representative in Nigeria acknowledges the country's leading role in implementing the global desire of a purposeful media ecosystem.
And really congratulations for Nigeria leading MIL here in Africa and beyond Africa.
Our shared goal is to emerge from these two engagements with greater clarity, strengthened partnerships, and a renewed commitment to promoting media and information literacy.
The symposium, with the theme Empowering Nigerians Through Digital Literacy, Navigating the New Media Frontiers for Inclusive Public Information, features presentation on the importance of media and information literacy, jointly organized by the International Media and Information Literacy Institute, the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, and the UNESCO Abuja office. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
All right, let's go back to our top story, the decision by CAF in favor of the Super Eagles. And we have a live guest with us now. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
So how did you react when you heard the news of CAF's penalizing Libya with $50,000 and awarding the Super Eagles 3 points and 3 goals?
It is a welcome development because that will serve as deterrent to other teams that are planning to be mischievous. Because the act of Libya can be termed as an act of terrorism. Because if not for the grace of God, the plane could have crashed. You are chiding with the life of players that are worth billions. As a matter of fact, the lives of players cannot be bought by money. That is one. And two is that their attitude is anti-football, is anti-sport, and that is not the name of the game. Before any FIFA game, you see what they call fair play. And the name of the game is fair play. So, but what they are doing is totally unacceptable by any means, by any standard. It is anti-football and it should not be allowed. Good one for CAF for being bold to take that decision to award the 3 points to Nigeria, because Nigerians are actually ready to play. They are ready to take the game to them. But Libya, cowardly, they decided to play the game outside the field of play, but rather to ensure that they frustrate Nigeria not to play the game. Now they have paid the penalty and they are to pay another $50,000 fine. That serves as deterrent. And again, it should go on record that any team that tries to do that should be severely punished. Even beyond that, they should be thrown out of the competition, because you need to really set examples. Young lads and others are watching. As a matter of fact, the entire world is watching, and we want to portray CAF and Africa in the global light. So, a welcome development by CAF.
And Mr. Oyekale, how do you think the Libyan authorities actually thought they could have got away with such malicious treatments of these Super Eagles at that time?
Well, they themselves knew what is awaiting them. It's only a matter of time, or they felt they could buy their way through CAF. But CAF is made up of people of high integrity, and they stood their ground. Because what they are trying to do is to use the North African Alliance to intimidate CAF, to choke CAF into favoring them. But CAF, made up of people of dignity, did what is right, and their verdict is highly applauded.
All right, Jacob Oyekale, our sports analyst there. Many thanks for assessing this development with us, and thanks for sharing us your perspectives. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
All right, let's take a quick break. More reports in a moment. Stay with us.
My administration took over leadership of our country 16 months ago at a critical juncture. The economy faced many headwinds and our physical security highly impaired. We found ourselves at a distant crossroad where we must choose between two paths: reform for progress and prosperity, or carry on the business as usual and collapse. We decided to reform our political economy and defense architecture.
Welcome back. The military has arrested a naval personnel, LS Aquila, deployed at forward operation base Dansadua for Operation Fansan Yama, who opened fire and killed a fellow military colleague. In a statement by the Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, he assures that after investigations, the case will be forwarded to a standing court-martial set up to address such offences among troops. Meanwhile, the administrative procedure for notifying the family of the deceased is ongoing, noting that the full name of the deceased will be released in due course. The Defence Headquarters urged the media to exercise caution in reporting and avoid anything that will further demoralise the bereaved family of the victim. Now, with every challenge we encounter, we rise stronger, united by purpose and dedicated to the protection of our skies and our people. Those are the words of the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, at the 2024 Fourth Quarter Route March exercise at the NAF base at Sukuru, Abuja. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello reports that the Nigerian Air Force male volleyball team presented the Division 1 League trophy to Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar.
face of evolving security challenges, the resilience of the Nigerian Air Force stands as a testament to the force's unwavering commitment to safeguarding the nation's territorial integrity.
May I have your permission to carry on with the exercise, sir? Carry on.
The fourth quarter route march, a routine that symbolizes more than just physical exertion, echoes the military's enduring spirit and commitment to fitness. With the Chief of the Air Staff on ground, this march serves as a testament to readiness, resilience, discipline that defines the Nigerian Air Force. The exercise reinforces the significance of being prepared, aligning with the Chief of Air Staff's philosophy of deliberate training and mission-oriented force development.
It is a reminder of the importance of physical and mental readiness in our line of duty. Our fitness is a critical component of our operational effectiveness. And as we face evolving security challenges of our nation, we must continuously sharpen our readiness for the tasks ahead.
Air Marshal Abubakar is leveraging sports for youth development among wards of NAF personnel.
In the very near future, we shall be organizing inter-command-based youth competitions as a strategy to keep our wards busy and to expose hidden potentials.
A minute's silence was observed in honor of the 5 valiant NAF athletes who lost their lives en route to the Africa Military Games. As the NAF is reiterating its commitment to a reinvigorated and highly professional Air Force, the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, commended President Bola Tinubu for his continuous support and procurement of state-of-the-art platforms to enhance the Nigerian Air Force efficiency. Olajide Bello, Nta News.
Life is full of challenges, but the hurdle faced by those with special needs is unique as they continue to strive to be relevant in society as well as their faith. This came to the fore during the 30th anniversary celebration of the Association of Deaf Muslims in Nigeria. Ibrahim Belogunda reports.
Worried by the challenges confronting Muslims with special needs in Nigeria, Association of Deaf Muslims in Nigeria, established 30 years ago, is giving voice and hope to them so as to rediscover themselves Islamically. Guest speaker Professor Suleiman Alabi Yusuf delivered a paper titled Atmos, 30 Years of Giant Strides, the needed reinforcement.
Gratefulness or gratitude, appreciation of what Allah has provided is very important, because the more you appreciate what the Almighty has done for you, the more Allah increases you in favor.
President, Association of Deaf Muslims in Nigeria, Suleiman Saka Dagbo, highlighted challenges confronting deaf Muslims, effort at addressing them, and the need for the society to lend them a helping hand.
We have the following needs: support in the area of employment, economic empowerment and scholarship for higher education students, establishment of an Islamic center in Ibadan that will play a triple role of, number one, Islamic model school for the deaf, apprenticeship in various handwork and trades, empowerment and capacity building, training for Muslim leaders, mobility vehicle.
There were a series of activities lined up to mark the 30 years anniversary. In Abuja, Ibrahim Bello Gunda, Nta News.
Countries across sub-Saharan Africa are navigating challenging reforms to achieve macroeconomic stability. While the International Monetary Fund, IMF, backs these efforts, it advises policymakers to balance macroeconomic goals with ensuring that reforms, such as those in Nigeria, remain socially and politically sustainable. Moplan Dakok reports.
Attention at the World Bank and IMF annual meetings today is on the continent. For Nigeria, the IMF welcomes the recent reforms of fuel subsidy removal and the Naira unification. However, it emphasizes that Nigerian government should use savings from the fuel subsidy removal to support the most vulnerable.
The immediate effect, of course, of doing these changes always causes quite a lot of dislocation. You've noted the inflation, and we have absolutely no doubt that conditions at the moment. I know there are some steps that are being taken in that direction, but I think really some of the savings from the fuel subsidy reforms, of the exchange rate subsidy being removed, should, in our view, be directed to helping cushion the effect on the most vulnerable households.
The IMF projects a growth of 3.6% for Africa in 2024, with a modification expected next year.
Economic growth in sub-Saharan Africa remains subdued, particularly in per capita terms. We're projecting growth this year at around 3.6%, the same as last year, with some signs that it is beginning to accelerate, and we're projecting that it will reach around 4.2% next year. This pace, needless to say, is not sufficient to reduce poverty or indeed to recover the lost ground in recent years. But as always, it's important to highlight the considerable differences in circumstances across the region. For example, 9 out of the 20 fastest growing economies are in sub-Saharan Africa, particularly those with more diversified structures, which are doing well.
The good thing is that Nigeria has not submitted any request to borrow from the IMF. From Washington, D.C., Muplang Dakok, Nta News.
Coordinators of the Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project, LPRES, are engaging officers nationwide to advocate for the protection of women's rights while strengthening Nigeria's potential for growth in livestock farming. National coordinator of the project, Sanusi Abubakar, is optimistic that issues in selected value chains will be addressed. Garba Natala reports.
The two-day workshop seeks to highlight the peculiar circumstances women are facing in the agricultural sector and advocates for their rights and freedom from all forms of gender-based violence. The training aims to build upon the knowledge and expertise of officers drawn from 21 states across the country.
30% of our beneficiaries, that is the expected direct beneficiaries, 1.43 million, should be women. So it's very critical to us, and we know the role women are playing in the agri sector, especially the livestock sector. We have been supporting women from the equipment, input, training, good animal hygiene, good milk hygiene collection.
Facilitators believe agriculture, being a tool of local economic growth, will support livelihoods in the communities these participants are serving.
Communities themselves will be the people that will drive this process forward, because when people are not there, when there are issues of GVP, what happens? And then there is also need for us to also have what we call support for sexual assault referral centers.
What they do at the health facility is to examine the survival and give proper medication, psychological assistance, and also legal assistance happen there, because we have lawyers, we have police, we have counselors that will counsel the survivor on what to do next.
Like when I was young, we discovered that most of these people that are into livestock, they are women. They do it for passion, not even for commercial purpose alone. They do it for passion. You see so many houses, they are rearing either birds, goats, and they know how to do these things.
When these women are mainstream and empowered, they will also help the family and help the men to achieve their purpose.
To make their impact felt, the Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project, LPRES, adopted gender mainstreaming in addressing gender inequalities, an inclusive approach that integrates women, men, and youths as beneficiaries. In Abuja, Garba Muhammad Natala, Nta News.
President Bola Tinubu congratulates Shirley Ayoko Bochwe, Ghana's Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, on her election as incoming Secretary General of the Commonwealth. On Friday, leaders of the 56th Commonwealth Nations meeting in Apia, Samoa, elected Bochwe, a 61-year-old former lawmaker who has served as Ghana's foreign minister for the last 7 years as the 7th Secretary General. Botchway, who is expected to assume office on April 1st, 2025, is the second African woman, or African rather, to be elected Secretary General of the Commonwealth in its 75-year history, after Chief Emeka Anyaoku of Nigeria, who served in that position from July 1st, 1990 to March 31st, 2000. In a statement, Presidential Advisor on Information Strategy says President Bola Tinubu expressed belief that Botchway's extensive career in public administration, foreign affairs and regional developments makes her a perfect fit for the job. The President looks forward to working with the incoming Secretary General to advance the Commonwealth's vision of fostering peace, equity and prosperity for all member nations. The President also reaffirms Nigeria's commitment to championing a Commonwealth that prioritizes strengthening intra-Commonwealth trade, African exports, and a unified presence at the United Nations that supports an African bid for a permanent representation at the Security Council. He thanks the outgoing Commonwealth Secretary General, Baroness Patricia Scotland, for her years of leadership and wishes her the best in her future endeavours. And that concludes the News Desk at 3 on Nta News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Dennis Adegunloye.